columnist John McClain, but we're now joined by a young man that we have seen grow up right in front of our eyes as a star at Midway football, and what he's done now in his college career at SMU, before that Oklahoma, and Saturday night was just mind-boggling. Tanner Mordecai. Tanner, what was that just one of those nights where everything just felt perfect for you?
Yeah, it did. I mean, things were flowing the right way and things were clicking as far as the play calling goes, and then as far as our execution goes, everything was aligning pretty well, I would say.
You guys are losing Houston as a rival next year as they move out of the conference, but the games that you guys have played against them have been ridiculous, and that one certainly followed suit when nobody was playing defense and you're just in the shootout. What's it like to be in a game like that in the moment where you know we're going to have to score every time we go back out there?
I think it's kind of a mindset that we try to stick with no matter what. Obviously, it's pretty hard to do when you're playing a good team that has good defense to score every drive. But whenever we feel like that's the reality of scoring every drive, it kind of makes it fun. Obviously, last game was a blast, but it's fun to have the pressure on the offensive shoulders. That's where we want it. That's offense.
Tanner, what was that feeling going into halftime? It's 56-35 at the break. Like, what were you guys just kind of laughing about this? Like, what was kind of the mindset at that point? And did you realize how crazy of a game you were in for?
I think everyone realized how wild it was that we scored 56 points in the first half. But at the same time, I think everyone knew that we couldn't get complacent and just thinking about, we already scored 56. It was kind of an idea that we needed to keep going and score more for sure.
You did not – was it the week before when you were out?
Yes, sir. I had a concussion, so they wouldn't clear me for last week.
So I think we know you well enough where that probably was more difficult than anything football-wise, is you not being able to play because you love the game and you're so committed to it. What was that like? Did that refresh you a little bit or just anger you as well?
I think a little bit of both. It gave me some perspective for sure of being on the sideline during the game with the headset and watching it from a different view that I haven't had to do for a long time, which it has its positives and negatives for sure. I mean, it sucked obviously not being able to play with my guys, but at the same time I was there mentally and just supporting them. But yeah, it was kind of tough.
When you break a school record, did they tell you or like during the game, or was that something afterwards? You're like, oh, that's a school record, which I'm sure 9 was not too shocking that that's a record. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, I think they said it over the announcer at the game said it. I think right before the fourth quarter. So I think everyone realized it or whatever, but no one was like going crazy because on the sideline, no one was because our main goal wasn't accomplished yet to win the game. But afterwards, yeah, everyone was pretty excited about it.
Tanner Mordecai has won the Davey O'Brien Award this week, the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award this week, the American Football Conference Award this week, and I'm sure there's even some that I left out I didn't mean to with us on 365 Sports.
Tanner, how big was that for you guys just to obviously get a win, but to beat Houston? Was there anything extra to that knowing they are leaving the conference after this year?
I was asked that after the game by the media as well. I knew they were going to Big 12, but I forgot that they were doing that almost the whole week. But I don't know if you watched this last year when we played Houston. So that was definitely a rough one. Whenever they scored in the late seconds of the game to finish us off, which really put a sour taste in my mouth for that experience down there for sure. So it was definitely nice to get one back on them.
In 2016. Texas Tech and Oklahoma played in Lubbock. It was 66-59, and Patrick Mahomes threw for 734 yards and 5 touchdowns. And I just found out through a birdie that you were at that game on a recruiting trip. Is that correct?
Yes, me and my dad were there. I actually watched the highlights of that game last week before Houston. They popped up on my Twitter, and so it was pretty crazy that I watched that, and then something similar happened on Saturday.
A little foreshadowing?
Yeah, maybe.
Tanner, have you gotten a chance to go hunting or fishing during the season at all?
Yep.
No, sir. There's not much time, and I am not very close to the outdoors. Right here, smack dab in the middle of the city.
Are you just tempted to like throw a rock at a pigeon just to get that feeling?
I mean, I'll fulfill that desire here in a couple months, I guess, whenever season's over. But not many opportunities around here, especially with time and my location.
Tanner, Paul and Craig mentioned the fact it was also an important win for you as well. Your thoughts going forward with this team? Is this a game that can maybe give you a spark? I know you scored a lot, gave up a lot, and that's going to happen in today's college football on occasion. But your thoughts about what this does? Is this a springboard for you? Do you feel like that? Have you felt that in just the first couple of days of this week?
Yeah, I think winning 2 conference games in a row gave us a little bit of spark for sure. I think as an offense, we definitely can't be complacent going into this weekend. But like you said, a lot of points were scored. But, I mean, I think we have a great defensive staff and defensive players, which we're going to need them going forward, which I think they're going to step up, no doubt.
How much does even bowl talk come into the equation with 5 wins right now?
Never. Never. I think we're more focused on finishing out the right way, and if things can bounce a certain way, we can put our name in the conference championship game. That's what we're more focused about for sure.
When you and I traded a couple of text messages when I was annoying you about coming on the show on Sunday, Lindsey Olsen had said I could contact you. Your schedule, some people may think, oh, man, it's pretty good, right? Your schedule on basically all day Monday you were shut down. Most of the day, I guess you have classes, and then you have football. What is a free time for you these days?
Then never. Sundays are a relaxing day after the game, but I do a lot of homework on Sundays too, so free time. There's not a lot of free time going on.
Yeah, if there was, he'd be in the woods.
No,
we wouldn't be able to call him right now. He'd be in a tree.
Deer blind. Yeah.
Yeah. Or hitting the white ball too.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time we discussed it on the day I think it was announced you were going to transfer to SMU. You were playing golf, and it was one of the windiest days ever, and it was fun to hear you on the course just kind of chilling, and we interrupted that. Tanner, how are you better now as a quarterback? What are a couple of 2 or 3 things you feel like you're better? You've been in college. It's been a long journey for you, and you've had to overcome disappointment on occasion. But how are you better in your opinion?
I think consistency. Coming just with experience of being in the fire of different situations. We had a lot of different situations last year as a team. Coming out of that, I think I learned a lot. I would say consistency, and I think I've gotten a little bit better at throwing the deep ball as well.
Have you paid attention to what your former coach is doing at TCU, and are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. They have a good staff. They got good players over there too. So, they're doing well.
Tanner, what's next when you play a game like that? You get to see family. You spend some of your time on Sunday with family. You mentioned homework. What do you talk? Do you talk much about the game with your parents or your family, or is it just basically about something else?
Yeah, we talk a little bit about it. But mostly we just talk about life. That's my time to see them once a week usually, or on home games. On away games, I see them before and after the game, but that's it. But Sunday we get to actually hang out and eat and stuff before they go back down to Waco. So not a whole lot about the game, mostly just about whatever.
I don't know anymore because of what the COVID year brought, and then, of course, also the redshirt year, and then you transferred. Is this it for you? Because I lose track now of players who even been in the league or college football for 4 or 5 years. I don't know anymore. Is this it for you as far as college football?
Potentially. I have another year of eligibility, but
okay.
I'm not sure if I'll be taking it. We'll just see how things play out.
Well, you've done an incredible job, an amazing game. The numbers that you put up were crazy. There was a time back, I think, in the late 80s when Houston may have beaten SMU when they were struggling, and it might have been during the – yeah, it was like 95-21. Was that something that – it wasn't like that, but was that ever even a thought?
No. I mean, no. I've heard about it just because of I've met some former players and stuff, and that was right after the death penalty. But no, that wasn't of conversation around the facility, I wouldn't say.
Thanks for your time, young man. We appreciate you always. How you represent yourself and also how you represent who you play for. What you did at Midway was spectacular, and what you're doing now at SMU is fantastic. Good luck. Congratulations on all the honors. You deserve it, and thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You too. Tanner Mordecai, SMU, 10 touchdowns, 9 passing touchdowns. What was it at halftime? 7? And 77 to whatever the score was, 63, whatever, in the win for SMU against Houston. They have losses this year to Maryland.